For the longest time, I thought the reasons why I couldn't get up in the morning very easily, get excited for my day, is because I didn't enjoy my work enough. And actually, what I was realizing is I didn't involve enough in my day that was directly connected to some of my top values. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the 20s Detox. I'm Bianca, your host, where we dive into all the things that I'm learning and unlearning in my 20s to elevate this decade. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, or any other podcast streaming platforms, just make sure to follow along and rate the podcast if you've been enjoying it for some time now. But if you're on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. I do post an episode every single Tuesday relating to seasonal guidance and advice for living in your 20s. Last but not least, if at any point something really resonates in this episode, please make sure to send it over to a friend. It's honestly so amazing to see all of your comments and where you're listening from, what you've been enjoying, what you got from the episodes, what resonated with you. It just goes to show that so many of us are not alone in any of our struggles, especially when we're in young adulthood and in our 20s. We're technically halfway through summer. I celebrate summer in the fiscal terms and the seasonal terms. I know that some people are going back to school now. In Canada, we don't really start school until September. I always found, even when I was going to university at this time, it was August when I realized, oh my gosh, like I need to be doing more summer things. Like I need to be enjoying the summer more and not dilly-dallying around these things, because like before you know it, I'm going to be back at school. I can't do any of this stuff. And it's funny, even when now I'm working, you think, oh, you're going to have so much time. You're going to have so much time. Before you know what, we're planning for Halloween and figuring out what we're going to do in the fall. So this episode is to kind of give a gentle reminder to maximize the summer season wherever you are, or wherever you are in the world. I know on the eastern part of the world, you're in the midst of winter, but wherever you are, it's to maximize the time that you're in. Today, I'm going to be sharing 5 things that I do after a work day that don't involve my phone. And this is going to combine 2 really popular episodes that I had put out in the last few months. The first one is about morning routines, and the other one is about getting off of social media. With regards to the morning routines, something I'm just going to preface for the rest of this entire episode, I don't want you to copy anything that I'm doing in this episode. Really remember, the point of routines is for regulation, that sense of familiarity, listening to your body. And something I mentioned in the end of that episode was reconnecting with your values. And that's going to be the guider in this episode today. And with social media, I wanted to bring things that I do for myself. This is just something I naturally do, but emphasize the importance of doing things that don't involve a phone or even a TV, to get off of our digital devices, reconnect with what's out there, the people out there, nature, fresh air. And I think we're all waking up and realizing how much we really need to do that anyway. It just happened to be that the 5 core things that I do after work either involve a sense of reconnecting with my spirit, my soul, reconnecting with my body, and reconnecting with my mind. And it's funny because people do talk about like mind, body, spirit quite often in the wellness world, but they explain specific things that you must do in order to reconnect with it. And I do think it is important to remember that how we connect with our spirituality, how we connect with our creativity, how we connect with our body, that can all entail slightly different things. So once again, it's that nuance in life where what might be a perfect after work routine for me might look completely different from you. So really, I just want you to like listen to what I'm sharing with my ideas there and see what resonates. And also it might encourage you to dive a little bit more into your values. When I'm not happy, when I'm feeling really disconnected and meh, and you know that feeling inside where you're just like feeling this tension? For the longest time, I thought the reasons why I couldn't get up in the morning very easily and get excited for my day with work is because I didn't enjoy my work enough. And actually, what I was realizing is I didn't involve enough in my day that was directly connected to some of my top values. Because even though maybe I love what I do for work and that gives me a lot of fulfillment and purpose, it doesn't entail every bit of my value. Like my whole life isn't work. And I was totally neglecting my main values. And now time and time again, I'm like, I need to reach these weekly targets of fulfilling some of my main values. And I just feel so much happier about my life. And so that's another reason why it is so crucial to build a routine around what you really value. Otherwise, it just might also feel meh, not really making you excited to wake up in the morning. Okay, first thing, spirituality. I'm a very spiritual person. I feel so much more connected to myself, grounded and safe, protected. I'm able to do so much more with my work in the day, be a better person, feel like I am maximizing my life when I'm connected to my spirituality. Depending on the season, I will have different sources of how I can connect with that. In the summertime, I think a lot of us forget how blessed we are with how many ways we can connect to our spirituality and nature. Nature is a way of doing that because a lot of the things that I'm looking around me in my apartment are all man-made. Trees, grass, flowers, all of that where a man, woman, a person did not touch it. It just came to be, and it was, you have to wonder, how long has that tree been there for? Like hundreds of years, maybe? You're connecting to something greater than yourself. And nature, I've always found, is such a great way of doing that. After work, I try and get some nature time. It can look like a lot of different things. When I am working here in my apartment, there's a great trail that's near me, so I can go for a nature walk. I can also drive over to my parents' house and spend time in their nice, luscious backyard and lay in the grass, go swimming, connect with water, touch a tree, touch grass. If I'm going and staying at my grandparents' house, they have a bay right there, so I can go out and go swimming in the bay after work. Also, tons of nature trails. Those things very much ground me back to the pace of life, like what life is really supposed to feel like. I always feel like when I'm feeling this tension, this buzzing, this like urgency constantly, that is a sign that we're staying too long in the man-made world where everything needs to be fast and evolved and quick, whereas nature has a different sense of pace that is sustainable, and you sense that like wisdom that comes off of it. And that's also why I built my guide, Align Your Life with the Seasons, because it's any time that I felt disconnected with my work or what I'm doing, I look at what nature is doing right now. And for some reason, it started to really click of how I can also adopt the lessons that they're doing to navigate life, to navigate the world out there. And we are really connected. That is something we forget, how connected we are. Like, we are nature too. And it's good to remember to go back to what our ancestors did and go hug a tree. Next two things, you can kind of blend them into their own category, but I do like to separate them. And that includes going to see family. That is number 2. And going to see friends. That's number 3. Seeing people, but specifically my loved ones, and that can entail my family, my friends, my boyfriend. That is so important to me. And there's actually so many studies about the importance of going and seeing somebody in person and having a conversation with them in person. It's becoming less frequent in this day and age where we can communicate with anybody on our phones, online. Although it's a great thing to be able to do that. Like my best friend, I had a call with her the other day because she lives 3.5 hours away from me. I can't just get my things after a work day at 5 o'clock and go drive and go see her, like we need to plan that way in advance. So that's great. But in general, 1 to 2 days out of the week, I like to go out and see somebody. I know that seeing people in person is so healing and healthy. But let's get even more facts of why that is the way it is. So I looked it up. One of the reasons why seeing people is so great and aligns with the idea that I mentioned with routines and regulation, nervous system regulation. When you go and spend time with somebody that you love and you feel safe around them and you feel happy with them, your nervous system starts to regulate. This is called the process of co-regulation. It's why that when you want to heal faster, you want to process things faster, it usually can be done when you're with somebody you care for. Like when you're with somebody you love. Like if you're going through a breakup, you're going through grief or a really hard time, sometimes we have this urge to isolate and not see people, when really we should be doing the opposite. We should be choosing the people we really love and we care for and we've always felt safe around, because that's going to allow us to co-regulate a bit and calm our nervous system down. In a neurotransmitter and happy hormone way, when you're hanging around people who make you feel good, you have more oxytocin, because it's like a trusting bonding hormone that happens when you're with somebody that you trust. It also lowers cortisol. So that is the nervous system regulation by lowering your fight or flight response. It's lowering the amygdala reacting, which was something I mentioned in my meditation video. The way we see stories, the way we see things, we create stories around them and emotions around them and reactions around them. So when you're with people you trust, that starts to lower. Your vagal tone starts to improve and your heart rate variability also improves. So those are some facts. All in all, that is just to say that when you're with people, and you can also sense their like electromagnetic field with you, not just like over the phone, you see their facial expressions, you're building rapport with them in the way that you're communicating. Everything in your nervous system starts to regulate and relax. Like you're actually feeling replenished. Whereas when you're on your phone and you're scrolling, that's just making it worse. And I do think with socializing, it's really easy to get into these routines where you go through socializing a lot and then you go through socializing not at all. And I always think about the first law in physics of inertia, where matter likes to continue doing what it's already doing. And sometimes I think, oh, we kind of are like that too. Like we like to continue doing what we are doing. So if we've gone a long amount of time without seeing our friends, going and booking that first meetup is going to be the hardest. Like making that a part of your schedule after work and going and doing this is going to be the hardest, but almost every time you'll notice that you spend time with people you love and find fun and you laugh with, or you feel like you're able to just feel better about life with, makes all of it worth it. But it's just that pattern reset that takes so much time. In the summertime, sometimes that's just me meeting up with a friend and grabbing some ice cream, going for a walk on the street and just talking, going for a nature walk with them, killing two birds with one stone. I have a concert that I'm going to go to. I go to concerts more in the summertime than I do in the wintertime because you can be outside. So I'm going to go to a concert in a couple days and see some friends. Family is also so important. Like I'm noticing family is something I could never live without. Like I'm so grateful for my parents. I'm so grateful for my sister. I'm grateful for my entire extended family. This past weekend, I went to go see my nonna and nono, who are in a long-term care because they both have dementia. And although they might not really know who I am, you can just tell how grateful they are to be around somebody who loves them, even though they don't really know who that person is. And that's why I think it's really special, even if cognitively we're not able to say, oh, this is so-and-so who is my granddaughter. They can still sense through my body language, through my tone of voice, through the words that I say, through my energy of like what I'm giving to them, that they're safe, they're loved, and they'll have a smile on their face, or they'll be happy. In turn, that also makes me feel good. Like I also feel really like happy and grateful. And then I saw my papa, who very is cognitively aware. He's just going through more physical issues, and he is just so grateful to see us. And some people might think going to see your grandparents that are just in a retirement home would not be a great way to spend an evening after work. But I know that nothing is certain, not even our friends now, not even the ages that they're at. And especially those odds are even less when it comes to your grandparents who are like in their 90s. You don't know how many more visits you have with them. So I try and maximize more of my experience, not in like a scarcity way, but of just recognizing that and trying to take advantage of it. And I'm so grateful that I do. There was a period of time when I didn't really like what I was doing in my 9 to 5. And all that was getting me through the week was, when am I going to see my friend next? And when am I going to see my family next? Like, I need to see somebody. I need to reconnect with what I love and who I love. Those things that I just mentioned, nature and seeing people, my soul, beyond the nervous system regulation, okay, my soul feels like replenished, and I feel that I could tackle anything that comes my way with work the next day. All the emails, all this stuff. I remember Billie Eilish said in an interview where she used to be kind of sad that she had not a lot of friends. And this might be another episode that I talk about making friends in your 20s and adulthood after university, because it isn't an easy thing. And you're learning to navigate being friends with people who might go down different paths and have so many different friends in different ages and different lifestyles in a way that's very, very different than it was when we were in school. So there could be these chunks in your young adulthood where you're feeling down because of a lack of friends. She said that eventually she was able to find a lot of friends. I think she reconnected with them from like her childhood or high school, and said in an interview that like, my life is worth meaning because of my friends. I think that's so special, because any of us could look at Billie Eilish and says, wow, she has it all. Like, she's won how many Grammys in one session? Like, she's an incredible artist. She is probably set for life with money. Not probably, is set for life with money. She says, despite all the luxuries that come from being a famous artist, a famous singer, it's her friends. It's the connections she has with her friends and family. The next thing is something that reconnects with my body in general, fueling my body with really good food, with working out. It's not just releasing endorphins, but I'm allowing my body to be healthier, to set it up to experience more of this life. Like, if I don't eat well and I don't work out, then maybe I won't be able to do that really cool traveling where I want to go in Asia and take this like really cool hike and experience a part of the world that I wouldn't be able to do if my legs weren't working properly and my heart wasn't working properly. I really work out more for the function of it now than ever. Of course, I have moments, especially in the summertime, which I know a lot of us have struggled with, is like body dysmorphia and insecurities. Working out for me, though, I try and do what my body is craving, what it needs, and also just doing that because I work such a stationary job. Like, I am at the computer all day like this. Like, I need to move my body. I need to go for these walks. I need to be stretching. I feel good. And even if it's 20 minutes or 30 minutes, I moved my body. So doing that, and also cooking food. I'm a total foodie. I love food, love good food. And the more that I travel, the more I feel inspired to cook, because there's very cool dishes that I've had in places like Croatia and Greece and Italy and Spain and Norway, a lot of places that I've traveled, and I just want to replicate them at home. Can't always buy it. And I'm mindful about my spending when it comes to ordering out. Like, I prefer to cook. Cooking also is very mindful for me. I'm able to place like some fun music on, maybe catch up on an album that I've missed, like Pedal by Ariana Grande. Oof, so good. And last but not least, something that replenishes my creative energy. I've mentioned this before in previous episodes, but since I do plan my life with the seasons, in the wintertime when it's a lot slower, we're slowing down on our craft and our goals in general, goal setting and productivity. I have a lot more pockets to do fun, creative things. Like, that's where I was doing puzzles and I was coloring and drawing and making these little clay things, like reconnecting with the inner child in me. In the summer and spring months, and the early parts of fall as well, autumn, you are in the goal setting mode. You are slightly in a more productive mode with getting these things done and seeing progress in that. So the pockets of free time are lessened. I'm able to have more energy to see people in the summer, so I see them as much as I can. In the wintertime, everybody tends to hibernate and we don't go to so many events like that. So any time that I do have, I found it's not really like the traditional painting. It's not playing music, it's not coloring, it's not doing puzzles. The most seamless way that feels like reconnects with my creative energy is when I'm taking care of my plants in my garden. I am attempting to grow tomatoes on my patio. They could definitely have more sunlight, and I don't know how well they're going to turn out. But after work one day, I spent time putting stakes in the tomato plants and keeping them upright and cleaning up the plants, checking on them, pruning anything around it so that it looked really pretty. And sometimes aesthetics are so needed. Like my patio looks so cute, even though it's super tiny. It looks so cute. I also like to get flowers a lot and make an effort to go and get flowers, even wildflowers, out on my nature walks and making things look pretty. Sometimes my creative energy is replenished through cooking too, of trying things, making it look pretty, getting crafty. But once again, I just don't make enough time for that because I'm trying to prioritize other things. But at the very end of things, because I work a very creative job, I need to make sure I'm replenishing my creative energy in some ways. And the last thing that I can mention that does replenish it is reading fiction books. So I haven't been reading any fantasy. I do that more in the winter time, as you guys know, but I have been reading a summer book, Emily Henry. She's so funny. Oh, I think it's another way for me to romanticize the seasons that I'm in. Like, I like to read a fall book and a winter book and a spring book and a summer books and watch summer movies and watch summer shows. But I didn't want to talk about those things because it involves screens. The point of this episode is to encourage you to think about what is your current lifestyle. What might you be lacking in that current lifestyle that you value? If you are somebody that works remotely like me, like I'm predominantly working remotely where I'm not seeing people and crossing paths with people on a day-to-day basis. And so that's why also I just need to say, build what you do after work around what you value and also around your lifestyle. Because I am remote, I crave more social interaction. Like, I need more social interaction. So I can't wait to go see my friend after work and play pickleball with them and then grab sushi after. Like, I can't wait for that. I can't wait to see my boyfriend walk through the door so I can hang out with him and we'll go do something in the evening or even just stay in and chill. Like, I just can't wait to talk to him and be around another person. 4 years ago, I was working with my parents. So I was in their office working and spent most of my days with them. So after work, I didn't always prioritize quality time with them because I was with them all day. Now, because not only do I not see them in person because I don't work that office job anymore with them, but I also don't live with them anymore. So I have to make intentional time to go out and see them, if it's for dinner, if it's for an evening, spending time at the pool, a sauna with them, whatever. I have to make time to go and see them because my lifestyle has changed. My work and personal lifestyle has changed. If my job was not so creative and more analytical, then maybe I would feel even more of a need to do something creative and have a creative outlet. But because I have the 20s detox, this has been my creative outlet for years now, and I love it. And I feel very fulfilled in that way. So that's just to say, after this episode, just think about what you value. I put it in another episode. I'll put more the Brené Brown's values in the description for you guys to think about. Choose the most important ones, like the ones you're like, oh, that is so crucial to me. Spend some time on it. Don't just like think, oh, I should value this. Like, really think about what lights you up. It could be different than family. It could be different than friends and all that. But I will say we are social beings at the end of the day. And I think it is important for us to spend more time seeing people in person. Even if you're the biggest introvert in the world, is there anybody on this planet that you feel safe with and like you really feel like you can be yourself with? Even if there's one person, that is the person that you should see more and go out and spend some time with, because you, even the most introverted person out there, needs that person to feel regulated. Co-regulation is so important. We're really lacking it in our generation because of our phones and social media devices, even gaming, where you're not able to see your friends in person. I see my boyfriend who's gaming with all my guy friends. I'm like, can you guys go and see each other? You haven't seen each other in months. The final thing that I'll say before I go is, how do you fit this into your schedule? How do you fit the things, once you've figured it out, what you value and what you need to do that don't involve the phones, how do you fit it into your schedule? I think what's really important is to understand the why behind it. And sometimes you need to say no to things to make space for things that really matter. Sometimes I need to say no to friends because I can't see them Monday through Friday. I need to do other things that replenish my energy. I'm like, hey, can we do this next week or the following week? You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to also ask for delegation when you really need that support. Figure out the ways that you can fit these values into your lifestyle, and you'll realize you'll start to feel abundant. You'll start to attract things that you have always meant to attract and bring in, whether that is more financial abundance or work abundance, love abundance, because you're doing more things that you want to do than what you think you should be doing. Before we close off this episode, just a reminder that one of the best ways that you can support this channel is by buying my guide, Align Your Life with the Seasons. It's a 4-part guide and workbook that you can take throughout the rest of the year. It starts in the beginning of the Gregorian calendar. However, it's not the new year, new me. We're not going to be goal setting or taking action in the winter time. That is more of a spring season. Summer has a unique energy where I just spoke about in a recent newsletter to my workbook purchasers about summer's energy. Every single month, I release a unique article to them to have extra guidance. I'm always here for extra help if you're wanting to work towards something. I'm just an email away. And especially if you purchase a guide from me, like, I'm going to be there to support you. Also, I have a free newsletter that goes out every single Sunday where you'll have more tips about what I share and 3 actions of the week, something to listen to, something to journal about, and an activity to try for the week ahead, so that whatever I share on here is not just inspiration, it becomes transformation. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next week. Bye.